I left my body. I could see my body, but it was like kind of like you've seen movies, right? When they're like, "Oh, I floated above my body." I wasn't floating. I just wasn't there anymore. Like I closed my eyes. The sun was on my face. I closed my eyes. That sun somehow went from the sun to just the brightness and the calm of the other side. And then I opened my eyes and I was on the other side. And I was like, okay, that's weird. I didn't 100% feel like, okay, this is it, like I'm dead. I don't know. It was very strange. It went from in my body to on the other side. And the second you're on the other side, everything makes sense.
Mm.
Any question you've ever had about yourself, and again, this is my experience. A lot of people don't have this same experience. I accepted my gifts long before I died. I have a much different energy, as you can tell by all the electronics freaking failing all around
Right.
me, right? So it is a different experience than a lot of people who have NDEs. A lot of people go there and it's beautiful and wonderful. It's maybe a garden or something like that. And then somebody comes, whether it's a family member or God, and says, you need to go back. You're not finished. You have to go back. I didn't have that. I went there. I was in this beautiful, it was a field surrounded by gardens. There was a gazebo and a bench beside it, and there was like a creek running sort of under the grass from like a pond to this little creek. And my guides were there, and I already knew them. Again, I accepted my gifts in 2015. So I knew them. I knew what they looked like. I knew their names and everything. And they were just there in support. They didn't tell me what to do, they didn't help me make the choice. So my NDE was specifically to make a choice whether I was going to die and stay there or not. Um, I've always had faith when I die, I will wake up on the other side and there'll be a huge Christmas party because I am Christmas crazy and all my family will be there and I will have a unicorn. So I'm like, that's me dying. And so I'm like, okay, I'm not dead. So this is true. I get to make this choice. And so time doesn't exist on the other side. So in actual fact, like I probably went to the other side 5 minutes into the helicopter ride. And then it was about another 10 minutes of in the helicopter. And then we landed in within a very short amount of time. My brain was swelling so quickly that my body couldn't handle it. And so I had a massive grand mal seizure. And that is when I would have died. And so it was maybe 25 minutes that my soul was out of my body. And again, different than most NDEs. A lot of people die, for a minute or two, completely die, and their soul goes to the other side in order for their body to survive. If your soul is in your body, you're going to die a lot quicker. And so it wasn't that long, but it felt like I was there for 50 years, 100 years, 10 minutes. Like there just was no time, no pressure. There was nobody saying, you need to make this choice because, if you're going to die, the seizure is going to kill you. So you have this much time till you have the seizure. There was nothing like that. And the choice was important. That's great. But there was also these amazing benefits of being over there. I looked amazing. Like, my 25-year-old self, but on crack. My body was perfect. I was wearing a beautiful white eyelet dress off the shoulder, which I don't wear. I have had kids and it's not a thing, right? You just don't. And no wrinkles, I never, no gray hair, no scars, no pain, no fear, no, like just nothing. And my guides did gently guide me and they showed me, if you stay here, your family's going to be okay. Um, my kids and my husband were over there as well. I could see them. They were standing there because if the choice was to leave my kids and not see them until they die, I would have just come right back. It wouldn't have been a choice. I would have been like, I love my husband, but my kids are like, they're my kids.
Right.
So they were standing on the other side because our higher selves are always there. So I think it kind of sounds assholey. Sorry if I'm not supposed to swear, but the swearing didn't disappear. That is on this side of the brain. So I could swear the whole time.
I like that.
So yeah, it's great. So my, like, the thought, so many people have asked me, like, weren't you like really sad being able to see your family and see your kids and how much trauma they were going through? I wasn't. Time and space don't exist. So this life is a blink of an eye. As soon as you're over there, this life doesn't necessarily exist for you because each one of us is living infinite lives in infinite time dimensions, and we can go back and forth in any of them. We can decide, like for you as an example, you've had some trauma in your life. If you go to the other side when you die in this life and you go, you know what? I think I either didn't learn enough or I didn't want to learn all of that. I'm going to do that one again. And I'm going to take that out and I'm going to live this life again without that happening and see what it would look like and see what it would feel like. So all of that doesn't weigh into your decisions over there because in a way it doesn't exist. It does, but it doesn't. Like I could see, and during the time I was there, I would kind of check in. And I could see my family. Oh my gosh, the bargaining, right? At that stage, it's not anger, it's not sadness, it's bargaining. If you let her live, I will do this, this, and this. If you bring her back to us or help her survive, I'll never have a drink again. I'll never be mean to her again. I'll never swear at my mom or disagree. I will never be frustrated with my sister, my daughter, whatever I am to them. Um, and I could see that, and I knew it was hard, but my soul didn't feel like I was responsible for that because they chose this life too. They chose that their mom, sister, daughter would go through this, and they knew that that was part of the plan. And so it just didn't factor into the decision. What factored in was my guides showing me essentially my future. I've learned a lot in my past. Um, I have not had a super easy life. It's not fun being born like me. Maybe it is now, but it wasn't when I was young. I was an odd kid. I could see dead people from the moment I was born. And I thought everybody else could see them at first. And when I realized they couldn't, it's not fun. It wasn't enjoyable to be a child. It wasn't enjoyable to be a teenager. And I struggled until I accepted my gifts. I sort of found myself and made it work, but like it wasn't fun and it wasn't super easy. And they showed me the amazing things I was going to do if I came back. They did tell me I would have some physical complications, and they told me the first 18 months after that stroke was going to be the hardest you've ever lived. And again, I haven't lived an easy life. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what does that mean? But when you're over there, nothing feels overwhelming. So like
Mm.
when they showed me that, like 18 months, it's going to be so hard. Like you are going to wake up paralyzed. I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat, I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't do anything. I literally had to relearn absolutely every skill. And it was very hard. And also because of the seizure, they put me on like freaking a horse-sized dose of anti-seizure medication because if I had another seizure while my brain was healing, it will kill me. Like that, full stop, it would just kill me. And so, you know, I knew all that. They showed me that. I didn't really, like when I woke up from the NDE, it took me a long time to gain consciousness. It was a couple of days before I sort of started realizing what was happening. And it was like I was almost on a high for 3 or 4 days, and then I wasn't. And
Mm.
I was like, what the fuck? Like, why? Like, this is my life. Like, my family's going to have to take care of me. Like, maybe it was a dream because there's no way I'm going to go from this to what they showed me. Like, that's just, how is that even possible? Like, like I can't even get up. I can't eat. I can't swallow. I can't talk. And you're telling me, in 18 months, 2 years, whatever, I'm going to be this person who's speaking to the most important people, trying to help humans to be less assholey, like to be caring and understand that no matter who we are or where we are, there is only one type of human. On the other side, there's no gender, there's no race, there's no ethnicity, there's nothing like that. We're just souls, and we're slowly working towards that belief with a lot of fight and angriness and all of that type of stuff. But if they had told me or shown me that as a human, I would have probably stayed on the other side.